Hi everyone and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. Let's get right to it because there was a lot today. So at the park, we're outside again, like the real outside. And Lulu and Dante are researching houses, and Lulu brings up having another baby. They're so happy, and I'm so happy. I love it when they're happy. And they both get phone calls at the same time, both about Nicholas, and they're gonna head off to Windermere. At Sonny's place, Carly gets the news that Lucas is in a coma. She talks to Bobby on a landline because Ava destroyed her phone, hence why she's not getting the message until now. And Sonny needs to talk to Carly, but he doesn't get a chance to tell her he's letting Ava see Avery, and Carly answers the door, and it's Ava, and she wants to pick up Avery, and Carly's like, ha ha ha, what? So Carly's upset to say the least, and honestly, if I were Carly, just from Carly's perspective, not this Carly, show Carly, I'd be upset too if I were her, because she works so hard so Ava could be totally cut out, and now Sonny's like doing this without even consulting her. And objectively, but like from my point of view, I think this arrangement is probably the best for Avery. But Ava sees that Carly doesn't know and jumps on it, of course, and just has to mention how Avery is there, her and Sonny's daughter, and they don't need Carly's input. And I'm like, okay, now I'm mad for Carly, right? And Sonny wants Ava to apologize for being rude to Carly, or else she's not going to see Avery ever. So Sonny is not happy that Ava is already violating their agreement, and Ava apologizes to Carly for her rudeness and hopes they can make peace for Avery's sake, and Carly's gonna go get Avery. So Ava leaves with Avery, and Carly asks Sonny why. Like, after everything she did, like, they have the chance to totally cut Ava out, and he's not doing it. So he says he did it because of Michael. And honestly, I thought they were going in the direction where like Michael kept Avery from Sonny, but that's not where they went. So he talks about how they cut AJ out of Michael's life, and then AJ came back and acted like a saint and made them be the bad guys, and Michael was vulnerable to him because he didn't know any better. And I miss AJ, but that's besides the point. And he believes that Ava will manipulate Avery, but Avery is going to come home to them, and they'll be there for her, and she'll be able to see the truth. And if they set the boundaries now, that's how they neutralize Ava. And Carly understands, but she hates it, and Sonny does too. But I mean, this is the long game for them, you know. It's like the saying, if you give them enough rope, they'll hang themselves. That's basically what they're doing to Ava. At the Metro Court, Kiki is back at work, and Dylan comes in. So Kiki apparently gets a lot of breaks for a waitress and for anyone, quite honestly. They talk about their performance and how it felt like a dream and how the whole night felt like a dream. And he apologizes for jumping the gun because her and Morgan had just broken up, but she's okay with it. And things were crazy between her and Morgan since day one, so it really isn't feeling like so much of a jump, you know. So Dylan thought Kiki would think the kiss was a mistake. She doesn't. She was always waiting for the next disaster with Morgan, but she can breathe with Dylan, and everything is it's not complicated, you know. And he wants to take her on a date, but like they can move super slow, like snails can lap them, as Dylan said. But she's going to be his helper at the Glamour Boys concert, so that's going to be their date. Ava brings Avery to the Metro Court to see Kiki, and she sees Kiki and Dylan talking and says what a good day today is. And I'm like, yeah, because you're seeing your handiwork at work. Although this whole thing between Kiki and Dylan was probably going to happen anyway. Like, Ava didn't really need to get involved, but whatever. At Windermere, Hayden and Laura have a moment. Spencer comes in with Elizabeth, and they see that there's police everywhere. So Laura has to tell Spencer what happened, that they can't find Nicholas, but they don't know anything for certain. And Hayden lets a lot more information out, to say the least, about, you know, him being on the rocks, which I think was a little excessive for the kid to know. And Laura tells him the person who saw Nicholas on the rocks went down to help. So Hayden talks to Spencer about how strong Nicholas is, but, Spencer keeps going to the worst case scenario, and Laura wants him to be hopeful. Spencer is going to go talk with the police, but Laura's going to go with him, obviously, which leaves Liz and Hayden alone. So Liz tells her to stop pretending she cares about Spencer, and she accuses Hayden of trying to kill Nicholas and framing Jason, and I was like, Team Liz right now, to be honest? When did that happen? So Hayden says she wasn't there when it happened, so she couldn't push him out the window, and also she couldn't push him out the window even if she tried, and Liz is still suspicious of her. Lulu and Dante arrive, and Liz tells them Laura's with Spencer with the police, and then they go to talk to the police, and Hayden tells Elizabeth she didn't do it. Elizabeth still wholeheartedly believes that she did, and she says Elizabeth wants to come to Nicholas and Jason's rescue, and Elizabeth brings up Hayden's father again. It's basically just like a back and forth of stuff you've heard a million times before, but I think it's worth noting Hayden doesn't know that Elizabeth knows about the diamonds, so there's that. At the police station, Sam arrives for questioning. Funny story, I was originally writing Jason and Sam, but my phone autocorrected it to Sam, and I was like, well, that's just fate, so I'm going to leave it. So he's in his black t-shirt, which, again, I think is worth noting, and is not answering any questions until his lawyer gets there, and Diane's there, and they go into the interrogation room. So Jordan gets right to the chase, and Diane has a notarized statement about her conversation with Jason at the ball, and how calm he was when she notified him that Nicholas was suing him. And Diane and Jordan, it's tense to say the least. So Diane makes Jordan tone down her questions by not using inflammatory remarks like, pushed him to his death and fell to his death. And Jason says he didn't speak to Nicholas in the early hours, and nobody answered the door. It was unlocked. There was cause for concern. He had heard a thumping and scraping upstairs. He investigated. He found a broken window in a wrecked room. He heard the window break. When he approached the room, he saw the rocks. He saw on the rocks there was a body that looked like Nicholas, but he couldn't draw any conclusions. Jordan thinks Jason knows exactly what happened because he pushed him. Again, this is the kind of inflammatory remarks Diane warned her about. So Sam's turn. Jordan brings up the heated confrontation, and Sam clarifies that Nicholas was heated, Jason wasn't, and that she heard a crash, and Jordan says she has footage that throws her whole account into question. So apparently Nicholas returned at 12:02, Jason got there at 12:28, and Sam got there 7 minutes later, and Jordan's alleging that those 7 minutes is when Jason and Nicholas got into the confrontation that ultimately led Nicholas to getting pushed out the window. So the interview's over. Diane tells Jordan that the department has a long history of bias against Jason, and charges have been dropped on that reason alone in the past. So basically, get your ducks in a row before you come for us. And based on he and Nicholas's history, Diane isn't sugarcoating how much trouble he can be in. This is obviously after Jordan leaves. And it would definitely be an uphill battle at trial. And then Jason and Sam leave the police station because they don't want to be there a second longer than they have to. And now end scene. So oh my goodness, this is going to get annoying. Ava and Avery, although I guess it didn't really matter. But anyway, they sit with Kiki and Dylan. Whatever story Ava's telling is making it seem like she's the one who called for shared custody. Wouldn't expect anything different, to be quite honest. And Kiki says she's proud of her, and I was like, oh, if only you knew. If only you knew. So Kiki brings Avery to the kitchen, which I think might be a health code violation, but I will check that with the health inspector in the house. And leaving Ava and Dylan alone, and that's not good. And Ava thanks Dylan for helping Kiki get over Morgan, and I was like, I can't. So Sonny tells CARLY that he told Ava not to mess with her, and look what happened. And CARLY's gonna head off to the hospital, and Christina's the one being tasked with getting CARLY a new phone. Dante tells Spencer that they are still treating this as a search and rescue, but Spencer won't let himself have any feelings as to what's happening. Spencer has really connected with Hayden, and he's like, well, even if my dad's not here, you have me, Hayden. And I was like, oh, that poor kid. Liz really wants to talk to Jordan, and she says she has information on Hayden and Nicholas's disappearance, and Sam and Jason are walking in the park, and Jason says that they won't be able to arrest him because he won't be here. And I was like, that's not good. Don't say that. Don't run. I don't blame you, but you really shouldn't, because then they will just stop the investigation altogether. All right, that is it for today's General Hospital recap. As always, that's usually what I say at the beginning. Okay, tomorrow is going to be a bit delayed as normal on Thursday, but I will try to have it up before 8, I hope. No, not before 8. I won't get home until 7. Before 9. I'll aim for before 9. And I think that's all. So have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!